Hello, Joe, and hello, everyone who's listening to this podcast. It's fantastic that you're joining me today. Today is actually episode number 6 on responsibility in Sam's 10-Minute Tuesdays, which Joe Templin and I created because sales is not just a numbers game; it's an activity game. And in introductions, make it easy to win that game every day. Once again, thanks again, Joe, for joining me.
Anytime, my friend.
Last week we talked about accountability, and there was one story I wanted to slip in that really I think flows over well to today's topic on responsibility. And that is, the other day I was out on my driveway and I was doing some exercise. I was actually jumping rope, one of my favorite things to do as far as exercise goes. And my neighbor, I hear his car start up, and as he's backing down his driveway, I yell out, "Hey, nice car!" He's driving black Camaro SS, one of the newer ones, like 700 horsepower, and he's in. Oh yeah, you hear him, and I yell out nice car, and he decides to back up, about 100 feet to have me come by and say hello, and he's going out golfing, and as he said to me, I really should do that. I'd be back in that habit. And I thought he was talking about jumping rope, but he was talking about exercising in general. And he put on the COVID, I thought it was a COVID-20 until you corrected me, it's a COVID-19 pounds that at least that he put on. And he said, I really need to get back to that. And I said, I totally agree. I do some exercise every day. But he said, I'll be satisfied with just 3 days a week. I want to do 30 minutes a day for 3 days a week. And as he drove off, I was going to call him, but I knew he wouldn't be able to hear me anyway. Because I know the secret, frankly, for accountability and responsibility that has worked tremendously for me. And I know having an accountability partner is fantastic. I like having my own system to hold myself accountable. And I would tell him, as I like to tell everybody in the audience today, that one of the key things to hold yourself accountable is accept responsibility for your actions and your results. But in this case, don't give yourself a buy. Set a goal for that day, whether it be number of introductions that you want to get for the day or for the week, or in this case, exercising. And don't give yourself a buy. If you don't do it today, you have to do it You have to do it again tomorrow or next week. In his case, next time I talk to Joe, I'm going to tell him, hey, you know what you should do is, if your goal is 3 days a week for 30 minutes a day. If you don't do 3 days this week, if you only do 2. Next week, you have to do 4 days. Hold yourself accountable and always carry it forward if you have to. So I know, Joe, you have some similar stories in this business with both accountability and responsibility that you'd like to share.
Yeah, so, one thing about responsibility is that if you increase your responsibility, you're going to ultimately increase your productivity. As a new rep, we're told, hey, you want to sell $1 million of life insurance? Make sure you own $1 million of life insurance. Go buy another $1 million of cash value whole life insurance. Cost you, $1,000 a month. Ooh, that's a big responsibility. Ooh, it's sort of scary. You know what? What's going to happen is you will then write the additional $2,000 to $3,000 of premium a month to be able to pay for it. But then you're walking the walk, you're talking the talk. You're accountable, you can show what you're doing. We were taught to be able to show your own program. And so you now have that responsibility. Every single month, I have to produce X to be able to cover my bills, cover my insurance premiums, do the things that I want to do. And so having those greater responsibility levels increases your productivity overall. You want to get more production? Get married, have a kid. This is one of the things that we've seen. Every single time somebody takes on additional responsibility, they end up producing more. Their productivity goes on up. One of the things that we had in college and grad school was, you want something done, give it to a busy person. Because they are responsible and they will find a way to make it happen. So make that commitment to serve on your local NAFA board. Make that commitment to your local charity to donate $1,000 a year. Because you know what's going to happen? You're going to be responsible and you'll find a way to step up and do what you need to do. So being personally responsible for saying, no, this is my job, okay? You know, I was doing something at the house, doing dishes or whatever, and somebody's like, you know, why are you doing that? Because my job. Well, let somebody else do it. No, my job. I gotta finish this because I started this. I committed to getting this project done. Whether it's, you know, building a stone wall or, you know, running the analysis or making sure that everything's taken care of for that little old lady client of yours. You make that commitment, you are responsible. And if you're not doing somebody's planning, guess what? Somebody else is, and they're probably not going to do as well as you, or worse yet, nobody is. And then that little old lady or that little old man, their family is not taken care of because you were not responsible.
Yeah. Yep. That also reminds me of my sister's saying that the day you take responsibility for all communication in your life, and all results in your life, is the day you're no longer a victim. So the moment you take responsibility for something, it puts you in control because you know it avoids the victim mentality.
Yeah,
And
it's not the COVID is causing this to happen. It's not the stock market is causing this to happen. It's not a competitor from another company is causing this to happen. Guess what? You make it happen.
right.
Pick up the phone, call more clients, get more introductions, do more fact finders, follow up with that client that you didn't talk to, do the closes, do the activity, track the activity, and then guess what? You're not going to be a victim anymore. You're going to be in control of your destiny, and you will be responsible for your own success.
Really, that comes down to the American culture. You know, I think personal responsibility has always been part of our fabric. I think that the Times, as an editorial comment, I have to say that people that don't take responsibility are a little bit going haywire these days. And those people that don't take responsibility are the people that kind of irk me the most. But fact of the matter is, you do it for two reasons: avoid pain and gain pleasure. And I feel a lot better when I take responsibility for things, and I think a lot of other people would too. But taking personal responsibility is part of our American fabric and a huge part of this industry. I think it naturally attracts a lot of people to this industry. The people who are attracted to this industry are people that take responsibility naturally. But there's nothing like having an accountability partner and a system and process or the right tools, as in the SAM tools, to hold yourself accountable and encourage that responsibility.
Yeah, I mean, SAM tool allow you to be responsible by giving you that feedback loop so that you know with certainty that you did what you had to do every single day, every single week to hit your goals. Because as we both know, Mickey, ultimately, sales is an activity game, and more introductions help you win the game every single day.
Yes, they do. And thanks again for this is episode number 6 here. And as promised, we did it in less than 10 minutes because it's Sam's 10-minute Tuesdays. And would love to have you join us for the next event, the next episode, which will summarize the 3 things that we talked about these past 3 weeks and ultimately help you go far. Thanks again for joining me.